Hello, I'm Doug Smith with Kentucky Valley Educational Cooperative. Today we will look at a Tier 2 intervention known as Check-In, Check-Out, or CICO. We will briefly look at what Check-In and Check-Out is, cover a brief overview of the intervention, look at things to do before implementing the strategy, look at a simple version of implementing Check-In and Check-Out, discuss some typical problems and ideas to address those. We'll have a quick review of Check-In, Check-Out in action, and then where you can go to for forms and additional information for Check-In and Check-Out. Let's get started. This is an effective Tier 2 intervention for students that seek peer or adult attention. Students have a daily check-in every morning, earn points throughout the day, and have an afternoon check-out. A copy of their progress is also sent to parents. This intervention provides students with positive interactions to begin and end the day. Check-in, check-out also encourages students to demonstrate appropriate behavior throughout the day. Teachers provide positive, encouraging feedback to students for meeting their behavioral goals. Check-in, check-out is a Tier 2 intervention that provides systematic performance feedback for students that seek adult attention. Check-in, check-out also provides positive communication between home and school. Check-in, check-out encourages the student with positive, corrective feedback. Check-in, check-out basics include student checking in with an adult in the morning, obtaining a point card or daily progress report with daily goals, taking the card throughout the day to each class, soliciting feedback, and checking out with the same adult at the end of the day with discussion of the day and receiving reward or encouragement. The note is then taken home, discussed with parents, and returned to school the next day. Check-in, check-out facilitator could be any adult in the school. The facilitator must be consistently available to the student, has or is willing to build a positive relationship with the student, and understand how to monitor and provide reinforcement for appropriate behavior. Check-in and check-out should occur in a consistent, convenient, private setting. Check-in and check-out is most effective for students with low-intensity behaviors that happen most often when they're seeking adult attention. Other criteria for participants may be developed by the school. Those may include students that have been on check-in, check-out before, students new to the school, students with a specific number of office referrals, such as 3 or more, or issues with attendance. Train staff on how to implement the strategy and how to mark the point card or daily progress report, and how to encourage the students to meet their goals. Encourage teachers to use positive language to encourage appropriate behavior throughout the day. Students should be trained on what goals they need to address, what rewards they will receive, how the total points or percentages will be tallied, the importance of keeping up with their point card, how to solicit feedback, how to accept feedback, and who and where to meet for check-in and check-out. Parents should be informed of what check-in and check-out is, how their child was chosen, how their child will benefit, how long their child will be involved with check-in and check-out, what the point card or daily progress report is, and how they can assist with the intervention in the home. The point card or DPR, daily progress report, should relate to the school-wide expectations. You should limit the number to no more than 5. The facilitator provides point card to the student, who then carries the card throughout the day to receive feedback from teachers. Facilitator and student will determine the total number of points or percentages the student must obtain in order to receive a daily reward or incentive. The team may also determine a set number of points to earn weekly for a larger reward for appropriate behavior. Morning check-ins often set the tone for the day. Start the student out on a positive note and their day will hopefully run smoothly. The facilitator should interact positively with the student, motivate the student to exhibit appropriate behavior, review the expectations and the number of points or percentage needed to earn a reward. The morning check-in also allows the facilitator to gauge the mood of the student. The facilitator can then inform staff of any potential problems that may arise. Student presents a point card to the teacher at the During checkout, the facilitator discusses how the day went, totals points or percentages, provides the daily incentive or encourages the student to have a better day tomorrow. Make sure the student has homework materials and assignments if applicable, and reminds the student to take the point card home, have it signed, and bring back to school the next day. If the student forgets to check in, send them to the facilitator to check in as soon as you can. Student loses a card, pick a place in the classroom to keep the card. If the student remains in the same classroom all day, tape the card to the student's desk. Provide verbal reminders to the student to remember their card. If necessary, start a new card. If the student says they lost the card after having a bad day, begin to use a new card. If you remember the ratings previously given, record on the new card. Keep the card with you the rest of the day, but still briefly meet with the student to provide the ratings and feedback. Begin a card when the student arrives. Explain that you're starting the card from the time they arrived, and the points and percentages needed to earn incentive will be adjusted accordingly. Tell them they can turn in the home report at checkout. If the student becomes angry and throws away the card or rips it up, discontinue the use of the card for the day. Explain that having the card is a privilege and they must not destroy it. They should still check out at the end of the day if possible. This is an example of a check-in process. Doug gets off the bus, has breakfast, goes to class, and then to check in with Mr. Jones. Doug gets a copy of his point sheet or daily progress report for the day. The daily goals are reviewed each morning with a reminder of what the point total or percentage the goal is for the day. Mr. Jones may want to ask Doug if goals are appropriate, doable, and possible to attain. Additional questions may also be asked, such as, how was your evening? How are you feeling this morning? Have you had breakfast? Do you have all materials you need for today? Mr. Jones then encourages Doug to have a great day. At the end of the day, Doug leaves class and checks out with Mr. Jones. Doug meets with Mr. Jones one-to-one to discuss his day. Mr. Jones guides Doug on how to calculate his points, or Mr. Jones calculates the points. Once the points or percentage are determined, Mr. Jones and Doug discuss and celebrate successes, or discuss things that did not go well and how to make tomorrow a better day. If points or percentages are earned, Mr. Jones provides a reinforcer or the reward. Mr. Jones may ask Doug if he has homework, does he need any materials for assignments, any notes to parents, any plans for the evening, etc. Mr. Jones reminds Doug to share the daily progress report or point card with the parents, reminds him to get their signature and to bring the card back to school. Mr. Jones may encourage him to have a great evening. Tell him he's proud of him, brag on him, excellent day. Some of the forms and the manual for check-in and checkout can be found and downloaded from kyself.com. Thank you. Doug Smith, Kentucky Valley Educational Cooperative, Achievement Gap Specialist with Behavior. Doug.smith@hazard.kyschools.us. And remember, live the life you live. Thank you. Have a great day.